Let's take a look now at various therapies we haven't mentioned that are in the pipeline, currently being evaluated. What's out there?
There's a lot out there.
Okay.
I think we're really excited.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So
For
we
example?
mentioned so far the first FDA-approved drug 21 years ago, hydroxyurea. In 2017, the second drug was approved by the FDA. It's L-glutamine, also known as Endari. And then at the tail end of 2019, we got 2 new drugs approved within 10 days.
Let's go over both of them.
Crizanlizumab is a monoclonal antibody that binds to P-selectin, and newer data that have come out of some basic science and translational work over the last maybe decade and a half, maybe longer, have shown us the importance of P-selectin in mediating the vaso-occlusive process.
What does it actually do, and how effective is it? There's a trial out there, right? The SUSTAIN trial. What's that all about?
Well, that's been completed. I don't know if somebody else wants to.
Yeah, so the SUSTAIN trial was a phase 2 randomized controlled trial that broke up into 3 groups: a high dose, a middle dose, and a placebo. And this is an IV infusional drug, and it demonstrated that it decreased crisis frequency from about 3 to 1.5, so almost a 50% reduction in crisis frequency.
And crisis meaning pain.
Pain.
What about, did it have did it look at that other silo of progressive chronic end organ failure?
Yeah, no, so we don't have any data yet as to whether or not it has an impact on
But
chronic
there
organ
I
disease.
think there are trials designed to look at that question, including in kidney disease. I think that's.
So that's ongoing.
This is exciting in that it, like hydroxyurea, similarly in terms of pain events, it lowered pain events, and having them on hydroxyurea added to the decrease. So if you already were on hydroxyurea and you gave them this drug, they had a further decrease in events. And so that's exciting. The issues with this drug is, so far, the data show no effects on hemoglobin or laboratory findings with it. It did have a clinical response in pain events, but the biologic markers, that you follow, like CBCs and retic counts, were not changed.
It's hard to monitor.
Which suggests, right, that the fact that the combination therapy works suggests that the first-line therapy for people with SS disease should remain hydroxyurea. Although in this study with crizanlizumab, it's the only one where they've enrolled patients who had variant disease, like SC disease, and it appeared to have an effect even in those individuals as well.
And my own personal bias, based on what I've just heard, going back to what we discussed in the beginning, since it has no effect on your CBC, there's a lot else going on in this disease. That's just not CBC measurable.
Yeah.
I think we all would agree, though, that we should maximize the physician's recommendations up first would maximize appropriate use of hydroxyurea.
Yes, absolutely.
And that would be our first line choice before. Now, there are obviously reasons to not use that, but it should not be ignored